everybody. Welcome back to another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. I do thank you for joining. Make sure you like, comment, and share this stream with somebody. Um, so tonight, the topic is priorities. And as you all know, we always start with a definition of priority. And so the definition of priority means it is a noun. It means the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important. The example, the safety of the country takes priority over any other matter. Similar, prime concern, first concern. Second definition, a thing that is regarded as more important than another. Plural noun, priorities. Example, playing football wasn't high on my list of priorities. And, I always go down to a little further definition, say, what does it mean when you are a priority? And it says, when a group or a person cares about one thing over all others, that's the top priority. After the flood, finding a place to live become their first priority. Priority comes from the word prior, which means to come before something else. A priority is the concern, interest, or desire that comes before all others. And the reason I chose this topic is because I had a conversation early with a young lady, and she was talking about how our priorities are all crossed up. And as we was talking, I had to kind of agree with her that our priorities are crossed up. And a lot of our problems happens in our lives because our priorities are crossed up. And one particular priority that's crossed up is putting ourselves first. We put others before us before we take care of ourselves. And if we don't prioritize taking care of ourselves, how can we be good at helping or taking care of somebody else? So we always put ourselves on the back burner. And so to give you an analogy of what I'm talking about, putting yourself on the back burner, so you have 4 eyes on the stove, right? So you have 2 pots in the back, but the front burners has a more intense flame, more heated flame, and then you get more cooked from that flame. The back eyes are for like your simmers and just to keep warm. So in order for you to get the best out of yourself, out of your life, you have to move your pots from the simmer flame to the intense flame. That means you move it from the back burners to the front burners. And a lot of times in life, we don't prioritize ourselves. We tell ourselves this all the time. Oh, I'll get to that later. Oh, I'll do my hair later. Or I'll get my nails done later. Or I'll get me a pedicure later. Or I'll shop for me later. Or I'll get my face done later. Or I'll go to the spa and get me a massage later because I got so much other things to do. Got to make sure the kids are taken care of. Make sure the household is taken care of. Make sure, I do everything for work. Make sure my boyfriend and my husband is taken care of. Make sure my family is taken care of. And as you're doing all that stuff, you have quickly taken yourself out of the equation and prioritized somebody else in your spot. And then we wonder why we end up bitter, angry, living with regret, and all this different stuff. Is because we take ourselves out of the equation. And maybe it is down the line, we don't feel like that we're important enough, that we should prioritize ourselves. It doesn't take anything away from us when we prioritize ourselves and make sure ourselves are taken care of. It doesn't take anything away from us. Every woman, every young lady, every girl needs a pamper me day. You need a day just to decompress. You need a day just to relax. You need a day just to get your mind right from all the stresses and struggles of life. You need a day for you. But we as women, because we equipped to multitask and to do so many things, that we forget about ourselves. And sometimes we forget about ourselves so much so that life passes us by quickly. And before you know it, we start in our 20s. We didn't prioritize ourselves. We go to our 30s, we didn't prioritize ourselves. We go to our 40s, we didn't prioritize ourselves. Then we end up in our 50s and 60s, and now we mad because we missed some things that we should have done along the way. Simple as that. We miss some things, and we're all guilty of that. But the thing is to recognize when you know that you need to put yourself first. Now, does that mean you're being selfish? A little bit, but it's a healthy selfish. Because in order for you to be good for everybody else, you got to make sure you take care of yourself. And if you don't prioritize taking care of yourself, you can't be good to help anybody else because you're drained, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's like somebody take a syringe and stick it to you and suck all the air out of you. Or you take a pen and stick it in a balloon and you deflate that balloon. So when we allow ourselves to go to the back seat and we're constantly backseat drivers or backseat riders, however you want to put it, then we're not prioritizing ourselves. Do it make sense? So somebody said, as women, we're taught to take care of others and be nurturers and put ourselves last. We are, but consciously, we have to think about we can still be nurturers and still prioritize ourselves at the same time. It doesn't take away us nurturing. It doesn't take away of taking care of others. We still have to prioritize what's best for us. We have to. It's a necessity. It's needed for our mental stability and our mental sanity, for the healthiness of our emotions. Because let's look at it. I made this analogy a while back with one of the other streams. So you can fill a glass up and you keep pouring into the glass, right? So in pouring into the glass, you're pouring into the kids, right? You're pouring into your work. You're pouring into school. You're pouring into your friends. You're pouring into your husband, whether you're dating or you're married or you consider dating, right? You're pouring into dealing with everybody else's emotion. You pouring down and pour into your glass the emotion of stresses of others in their life. So they're pouring into the glass. Now, where do you fall into this? Right? So everybody else stuff is filling up your glass, and eventually you get to the point that that glass actually spills over, and you don't have nothing left for yourself. So we have to realize we have to keep space for us. It doesn't take away. You still can do all those things that you need to do. But if you're not taking care of yourself and you end up in a mental breakdown, you end up depressed, you end up having anxiety attacks, you end up feeling overwhelmed, you end up feeling stressed because you have allowed others to pour all their stuff into you. And then you say, okay, well, today I'm going to take some time for me, just for me. I just need a little quiet time for myself to get my thoughts together. Just take me a little time for myself. And all the time, you don't want to go get your nails done, your feet done. Sometimes you just want to lay around and be bummy. That's it. That's all you want to do. Fix you some snacks, watch some TV, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us feel guilty when we take those type of days where we just lay around and take some time for us. But you find in taking those days, it rejuvenates you. It gives you more energy, and even some stresses of life become clear because you have allowed yourself to prioritize yourself and put yourself first before everybody else's stuff. And then you have to look at on the flip side, when you sacrifice so much of yourself for others, how much are they really sacrificing for you? And now they really thinking about you and your best interest, your health, your sanity, your emotional and your spiritual and physical needs. No, all they care about, they need somebody to dump on. It's like you see the garbage trucks come through and they pick up everybody trash on the block, right? But once they fill that garbage truck up, they have to take it to one location and dump all the garbage out. And that's what people do. They take all their garbage from everywhere. And because you are that individual, that they know they can dump on and leave it at your feet, resting on your head, lay that weight on your back. That's what they do. They go down the block all around the world and they collect their garbage and they drop it off on you. And then you pick it up and you take it. You don't really dump it. You should dump it, but you keep collecting the garbage. So when at one point in your life, you're going to dump your garbage truck and let some things go without feeling bad about it. Because I said this once before, you can't pay for peace of mind. You can't pay for tranquility. You can't pay for sanity. You cannot. And people are only allowed to do to you what we give them permission to do. Do that make sense? Because when somebody's calling us, and I'm not saying don't listen, I'm not saying don't be there, because we should be there for those. But when people keep recycling the same stuff over and over again, then you have to wonder, do they really want a solution to the problem? Or do they just want to have sympathy or you to feel bad for them? And sometimes people create their own scenarios of what they're doing. So we have to learn how to prioritize some things. And even when we're going to school, if you want to go to school, don't let nobody deter you from doing that. Place all your things in the proper buckets and get done what you need to get done. When you want to start a business, place your things in all the proper buckets and get done what you need to get done. Everybody does not deserve to reside in your top 5. Everybody is not important enough to reserve a spot in your top 5. They're just not. We give people place and position in our lives that we should not even give place or position to in our lives. It's not even worth it whatsoever. And then we find out that we have our own issues, our own struggles, our own demons, and we dealing with things, and then we take their issues and their struggles and their demons and we drag them along with ours. That's a lot of stuff to drag along with you. And when you start dragging so much stuff, that stuff become heavy and it become overwhelming. Now, how do you prioritize putting things in proper perspective that's going to be healthy for you, to give you peace of mind, so you won't have a migraine or you won't end up sick? Because do you know, holding on to stress and strain can make you sick, can raise your blood pressure, it can cause you to be stressed. And stress is a silent killer. It is. So we have to prioritize what's best for us. And we can't let anybody feed us what they think is best for us, because the only person who really know what's best for you is the woman who looks in the mirror. Nobody can tell you what's best for you. You know when you need to rest. You know when you need to stay away from people. You know when you need to walk away. And there's nothing wrong with walking away, staying away, or not being bothered. There's nothing wrong with that for your peace of mind. My niece has this saying that she's always going to protect her peace. And some of us need to learn how to protect our peace. We don't know how to protect our peace. We have people that call us from sunrise to sunset with the same problems. They never get resolved. They call you for 50 years with the same thing. So then you have to think to yourself, do they really want to get away from the problem that they complain about? And the answer would be no. They don't want to get away from it. But as long as you continue to listen and respectfully, you can tell that individual, okay, I've been listening to you for a minute about this problem. And I've been, sympathetic. I've had empathy as you talked about this problem. But at one point, are you going to stop it for yourself? Because as much as you tell it to me, you're the one who's dealing with it. I can't control what you need to stop. And sometimes we have to have that pushback, and being a true, honest, genuine friend, family member, co-worker, whatever it may be, can say those things to an individual. Now, will it sit well with them all the time? Of course not. Because who wants to hear the truth? Who wants somebody to tell them what's right when they thinking what they're saying is right and they know it's wrong? Who wants to hear that? They don't. But do your part Let them sit in it. Let them marinate on it. And if they decide to solve it or not, you said what you had to say respectfully. But I don't want to continue to hear this same repetitive story over and over again. Because a lot of us, we are enablers of family members, of co-workers, of friends, of our mates, of our boyfriends, for whatever the reason may be. And only you know what that reason is that you enable those individuals to constantly dump on you. And then to make you feel that they always should be the priority and you should not be the priority. It's just like in dating. You're doing all you can because you have made up in your mind this is what you want to do, right? And you know your expectation, you know what you're looking for, you know what you want out of the relationship, but you're doing all the work. You're making all the efforts. You're making all the plans. And in a sense, it's like pushing yourself off on somebody. There was a thing that they had, was a movie, and it was a book. He's just not that into you. And so when you start pushing and you start making plans, you start doing all this stuff, now you negated your priorities. You negated the things that are important to you and making somebody else the priority when they only consider you as a priority. And hence why we end up staying in relationships that are unhealthy, because we sacrifice ourselves, our wants, our needs, and our desires. We give them up for the sake of saying, I'm in a relationship. But if you think that's healthy, you think that's good, then shame on you, because that's not a healthy relationship, and neither is it good. You're getting the short end of the stick. He's getting the better end of the stick. And the reason I say that, because if he's coming over when he feels like it, and you're okay with that, and then when he say, or you say, well, let's go out, you're planning, you're paying for it, you're driving, or he comes over conveniently on the day that you know things are going to happen, you're cooking, you're washing his clothes, you're doing all this stuff for him, and then you sexing him up at the same time, aren't you sacrificing yourself? Aren't you sacrificing what's best for you? So now no longer what your wants and needs are a priority. Now you have sacrificed yourself for somebody else. So you're shortchanging yourself. So think of it like this. If you went to the store and you got some groceries and your bill was $20, and when they gave you your change, they short you $5, how would you feel? Would you walk away and say, okay, well, that's just $5? No, you would not. You would say, excuse me, I gave you 20. My change is $5. I want my $5. Well, the same thing in a relationship, whoever it may be, whether it's a man or your family member, your co-worker, your friends, whatever it may be. Stop letting people shortchange you in the relationship. Stop letting them do that. If you're going to fuss and speak up for yourself when somebody that you don't know shortchange you, why can't you speak up for yourself with somebody that you do know? And why is it so hard to tell people how we feel about certain things? Because if they love you, they're going to love you. If they like you, they're going to like you. I don't want anybody being in my life that can't be honest, transparent, and truthful with me. And I don't care how bad it hurts. Tell me the truth. Whatever it may be, I want to hear the truth. I may not like it, and I may not accept it right then and there, but I want you to tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. That's one thing I can't stand. Two things, a liar and a thief. I can't deal with those two individuals. And if you love me enough, if you care for me enough, like you say you do, you would tell me the truth. You would not lie to me. And if I'm important to you as a friend, as a family member, as a mate, whatever it may be, then I would know without you even saying that I am your priority. You know how I know? By your actions. By your actions. And a lot of us just go, oh, well, we make excuses. Stop making the excuses. If the relationship is not a healthy relationship, if you poured everything you can pour into the relationship genuinely, and I'm not just talking about husband, boyfriends, I'm talking about friends at work, I'm talking about family members, I'm talking about your best girlfriends, whatever it may be. If you've done your part, if you've been a great friend, whether y'all had disagreements or not, and you've been there when they needed you to be there, and you put your all in all, and you cherish the friendship, and it was a true genuine friendship, because there's a difference between a friend and associate. So let's understand that. Don't get the two confused. If I'm that genuine friend to you, then I know your needs. I should be able to prioritize that. When we need to have friend time, we're going to have that friend time. I need to because you're important to me. If we're co-workers and we need to have that co-worker time, I'm going to prioritize that time because you're important to me. Even with mothers and children, you need to prioritize that time. And a lot of our children are out of control because parents have forgotten how to prioritize their time with children. A lot of women, and I'm just going to say this, I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to be honest. A lot of women have problem with their kids because they prioritize the time with the man before they prioritize the time with the child. And that is so backwards. That's very much so backwards. And then you get mad when it goes on so far, and then you start losing some things with your child because you put the man before your child. How does that work? How does that work? Did you forget the 9 months of labor of carrying a child, and then the hours of labor? If it was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, or 9 months, did you forget the hours of labor? Did you forget the months of carrying the child? So how can you put the man, prioritize the man over the child when the child needs you? The child didn't ask to come here at all. They didn't. So the man becomes important and the child takes the back seat. How does that work? You neglect your child for a man? How does that priority really work? And then when the child grow up and the disconnect between you and the child, then you want to get mad and tell the child, I'm your mama. Well, you wasn't my mama when I needed you to be. My grandmother was my mama. My auntie was my mama while you was chasing some man. So you did not prioritize your child. You put the man before your child. Create the balance. There should be a balance, period. No child that didn't ask to come here should feel like they are less than. They got to figure it out. If they say interrupt you about something, then you get an attitude because they interrupted you. How does that make sense? Then we should never have any kids. Never, ever. Our priorities at times are all crossed up. So somebody say a day off from everything to regroup and recharge our batteries. We should all take a day off to regroup and recharge your batteries. You deserve that. But you know what? A lot of women don't feel that they deserve to take a day off. If I sit down, this is not going to get done. If I sit down, I'm going to miss something. Okay, it won't get done that day. Get it done another day. Okay, so you miss it today. Do it another day. Was it important? Was it going to cause the end of the world that you didn't get it done? No, it's not. It's not. And you really need to be selfish in a healthy way for you, for your sanity, for your emotional, for your spiritual, and for your physical. Because when you are overwhelmed, you are depressed, you are stressed, your anxiety is high, You can't sleep. You can't function. And really, you can't think well. And you really don't get nothing accomplished because you're in overdrive. You're in overdrive. And some women are pushing so hard and so far that they don't even realize what they're doing. It's like they're there, but they're not there because they got so much on their plate and they don't know the art of saying no. It's too much. No, I can't get this done. No, it's not on my list today, but I can check my calendar and see if I can squeeze you in. And ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the art of no. Nothing. Can you watch my kids? No. Can you pick me up? No. Can I use your car? No. I know you sitting at home and you said you was going to rest today, and I know you just want some quiet time, but I need this big favor. Not today, because today is my day. I'm not doing it today. Try me again tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with that, because if you allow individuals to invade on your space, if you allow individuals to invade on your quality time, if you allow individuals to get in your head, you will never prioritize yourself. Ever. Never, ever. And don't feel bad about your no. Turn your phone off, put it on vibrate. If you want to sit in your pajamas and eat popcorn all day, then sit in your pajamas and eat popcorn all day. Put everybody on notice. Let them know. Don't call me. Don't ask me to do nothing because I'm not doing nothing. Don't schedule me for anything because I'm not coming. Don't schedule no parties. Don't schedule no meetings. Don't schedule nothing. Today I am taking for myself. And there's nothing wrong with taking days for yourself. Whatever it is you want to do. If you want to sit in the house, that's fine. If you want to go to the spa and spend all your day at a spa, that's fine. For the healthiness and the wholeness of who you are as a woman, we need to take some time for ourselves and shut it down. To decompress and regroup. Life is stressful. Life throws you curveballs all the time. And sometimes you can catch them. Sometimes you can swing and hit them. But a lot of times you miss. And so in order for us to not crack, in order for us to not to be depressed, in order for us to not to be overwhelmed, take some time for yourself. Prioritize who you are and what your needs are first. Even with your husband, to have a healthy relationship, even with your mate, your family member, whatever it may be, prioritize yourself first. Because you know, we as women, we get into relationships and we used to prioritize ourselves, get our hair done, get our nails and pedicures, and sometimes we fix ourselves up, feeling cute gives you that extra little put on some clothes that makes you look pretty, and your cute little heels if you wear heels, or your cute little flats, whatever it may be. And all the time people don't wear makeup. Sometimes they put on lashes and get their eyebrows done and get their hair done and a little lipstick. Whatever makes you happy. But then when we get in these relationships, we don't prioritize ourselves anymore. We don't get our hair done. We don't do the little things that make us feel special and cute. Because when you dress up as a woman and you put all your goodness on and you smell good, it gives you that different feel. It gives you that different feel. But we don't do that anymore. You know why? Because we don't prioritize ourselves. We put others before ourselves. The kids say mom. So now we got, as they call it, the mom clothes. The jogging pants, the sweatshirts, and the t-shirts and gym shoes. You can be a mom and be fly, honey. You can be a mom and be sexy. You can be a mom and look good. You don't have to take from yourself and put yourself in the back of the line and everybody else in the front of the line. Now everybody else is feeling good, looking good, dressed good, smelling good, filled up really good from your good old cooking or your good old microwavable meal or the meal that you order from the restaurant, however it may be. But you stand in the back of the line looking raggedy, broke down, tired, overwhelmed, beat down, stressed, eyes bugging out your head, your ponytail is lopsided, your face is plain and everything else. And everybody enjoy the results of your labor and hard work. And they don't think you need to have some time for yourself. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. We as women have to learn how to place things in the proper bucket that will keep us healthy. And a lot of you all look old because of your stresses in life, because you let somebody take you down a road that you should have stopped that disaster a long time ago. Before you got on the exit, you should have stopped that. You should have stopped it. You should say, this is too much for me. The power of your no. And the only way people can do what they do is we give them permission. We allow them to do those things. We allow them to do those things. I don't care how old you are. You are just as important on the day you was born as you are today. But if you don't realize that for yourself, nobody else will. If you don't prioritize who you are as a woman, nobody else will. And the reason why I say that, this is how a lot of women lose their selves. They lose their selves along the way because they allow somebody else to take the priority, to take away who they are. Because now you denied yourself of living life and you live somebody else's life. So that means you forgot about your priorities. You forgot about your wants, your needs, and your desires. And you live for somebody else instead of living for yourself. You have to live, and you should want to, and you should need to live for yourself. There are dreams, there are visions that a lot of you all have. And because somebody else's priorities became more important, say a family member, a husband or a boyfriend say, no, I want to do this first. And then once I do it, then you can do this. So why I got to put my dream on hold to help you push your dream? Why? I'm not important? That your dream is more important than mine? We give away things. And we have to understand we give away too much. We give away free tickets to the show. And we have to not give away the free tickets to the show. If we don't think that we're important, nobody else will. We have to think that we're important. We need to think that we're important. We should think that we are important. And it doesn't take away from no relationship. It doesn't. Now, I said one day, if you need 2 or 3 days to decompress, to regroup, to recharge your battery, then that's what you need to do. And what those around you need to understand, if they allow you to get that time, things in the environment around them will be so much better if they give you your quality time to yourself. But you got to tell people, today I'm prioritizing me. Your husband, your boyfriend, your family members, your friends, whatever it may be. Let's do this. Let's go here. No, not doing it. Today, I need this day for myself. That's it. That's all. Tell them I need a pepper me day today. I need a pepper me 2 days. That's what I need. Even with individuals who take care of sick people, you need time to yourself. It's a lot. Life is heavy. Again, life, you go through a lot of things in life, but how you deal with it, how you prioritize what you're dealing with will make the difference. Don't sweat the small stuff. To live a long, healthy life, you have to think about yourself. And sometimes they require being a little selfish. And sometimes they require exercising your no. And if that's what you need to be, exercise your no. And if people get mad because you want to take a peppermint today, they're going to be okay. They'll be all right. And if they make a big deal out of it, you may want to rethink their relationship. That's all I'm saying. because they should be understanding of all the things that you do. If you go to school and you work a job and you got a household to maintain, you got family members, you got sick relatives, you try to be supportive to your friends who going through things. You don't think you deserve a day to yourself? And if you don't think you deserve a day to yourself, ask yourself, why not? Why not? Why don't I deserve a pep me day? Why don't I deserve a pep me a couple of days? Why don't I feel I should exercise my no? Why don't I feel I should regroup, recharge my battery? Why don't I feel that way? Why do I feel the need to prioritize everybody else's stuff and sacrifice who I am as an individual and my needs and my wants and my desires? Those are questions you have to ask yourself. This is a self journey. It's not about nobody else. The only person who can answer those questions and who can come to the revelation of some things is the woman you look at every day in the mirror. Who is she? Ask yourself that question. Who is she? Or who has she become? And why did she allow her to get to this point? Where is your voice? Ask yourself these questions, and only you can answer that. All right? Make sure y'all follow us on all our social media outlets. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, TikTok, YouTube. And check out the podcast. For those women who have a business, again, if you would like to be highlighted, send me an email number to awomansheart@gmail.com. And for those women, when Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp was down, I'm going to keep saying this, don't put all your eggs in one basket. We're working on building up this social media outlet. Women have to fight for their place and their position in life, whatever it may be. On this social media outlet, you don't have to fight that hard. It is specifically for you, where you can brand your business, you can network, and you can share life's moments. I hope that you all enjoyed Morgan Talk on Sunday. And I want to encourage every mother who has a young child that expresses to do something, that we allow them to do that. You never know how that will shape them to be a great individual as they grow up. And a lot of times we deny children things because we like children, oh, they don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's encourage, let's motivate our kids, because you talk about them when they do something wrong, but let's push them, motivate, and uplift them when they do right. There is a campaign that Morgan has. It's on my Facebook page, on my family members' Facebook page, that they're trying to get money for their dance team. We know things can be expensive, cost of trips and everything else. Let's help those young children to get where they need to be. Whatever children that's out here doing something positive, we should be more than happy to jump on the bandwagon and help. All right. So coming up soon, I'm going to be talking to another young lady. She has totally rebranded her business. She's going to be coming up the first week in November. The second week in November, I have another young lady who reached out to me, but she wants to have an interactive stream. So we're going to work on that. And then the third week in November, I want you to hear some young ladies who are actually out here advocating for change in the prison system. And I want you to hear the stories of one young lady who had to experience something that was very detrimental to her in her life. And she has not had time to face what she's dealing with because she's been spending so much time fighting for everybody else. I'm going to say this. When we think we know, we really don't know. We really don't know. We see people dressed on the outside, smiling, dressed nice, but on the inside, things are crumbling. There's a demolition derby going on the inside because of life, what happens in their lives. So ladies, let's be encouraging. Let's motivate, let's uplift, and let's empower each other. It's enough negativity out here. We see it on the TV. We hear it wherever we go. We want to create a positive environment. We want to create a sisterhood. And I can't do this by myself. This is a God thing for me, whether you understand it or not. I'm on a mission here. I am on a mission. And if I help one individual, I'm happy. But I want to help more than one. And I hope that you all will join in with me to help more than one young woman to be her best self. That is our goal. to uplift one another. We have enough crab in the barrel. Make sure you go to the website and get a t-shirt. T-shirts that speaks to the heart of the woman. All right, let's do that. Levelupforyou.com is an Amazon store that we want to use for single mothers and women of domestic violence. I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much. I only ask for a little. Just a little. Can you all do that for me? That's all I'm asking. All right. Don't forget to check out our social media outlets. And November is going to be an interesting month. So make sure you stay tuned in to what's going to be coming up. All right. Take care.